Excellencies, distinguished business leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. And thank you, Winnie and Icy, for the good welcome. Let me start by saying with old but or with the good leaders would be just fine. Being old alone is not a bad thing. I appreciate so many of you making time for this important conversation, most especially the heads of state and the government here with us. This session is timely. The conditions have never been so favorable for Africa to take the lead in shaping its own global agenda. For too long, we ceded responsibility for Africa's agenda to others, with some individuals even benefiting. But challenges relating to migration, security, and climate change, among others, mean there is no longer any actor who sees an advantage in an Africa that is institutionally weak and economically stagnant. I don't think it benefits anyone. Put differently, everyone benefits from a stronger, more united Africa, and this is reflected in the more constructive tone of Africa's partnerships with Europe, China, India, and others. But no one is going to transform Africa on our behalf. It's definitely up to us. However, today the pace and the quality of integration in Africa is increasing noticeably, and this is very significant. Last year, for example, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement was adopted, and it is likely to come into force this year. We also agreed on a timetable for the free movement of people and on the establishment of a single African air transport market. At the next African Union Summit, we expect to consider an innovative proposal to harmonize digital identity platforms across Africa with common technical standards and data protection norms. The goal is to bring all Africans into productive, knowledge-based economic activity. This is an example of how Africa can work together to prepare for the fourth industrial revolution. This dynamism is consequential for the future. After all, it's not so easy or an easy matter to forge consensus in a union composed of more than 50 countries and several interlocking regional economic communities. But it is doable. International cooperation is indispensable. It was the brutality of the two world wars that gave rise to the multilateral system, which lately seems to be in crisis, as the World Economic Forum has been highlighting. But reforming the system should not mean a return to the status quo. For many of us, it was hardly a golden age. Rulemaking was not inclusive, and the balancing of geopolitical interests among major powers often came at a very high price for those on the periphery. For Africa, the most important thing is to adopt a posture of active responsibility toward shaping our place in the world. In the multi-stakeholder spirit of this gathering, this also requires strategic leadership and investment from the private sector, particularly in terms of technology and industrialization. Perhaps the question we should be examining now is, are there any common interests that we can define together to restore a moral center to multilateralism? I thank you for your kind attention and look forward to our roundtable discussions.